What's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the Cruz versus Valenzuela recap. As Isaac Cruz defended the 140-pound WBA Junior Welterweight Championship of the World against Jose Valenzuela as the co-feature of the pay-per-view that took place on August 3rd and was headlined by Terrence Crawford and Israel Madrimov. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So some people might be a little surprised that I'm not joining all these fights on one card. I've decided to go with some shorter videos when it comes to recapping the big cards especially, but the big fights, you know. If it was a big enough fight, I think that those fights deserve their own recap. So that's what I'm doing here. So this fight between Cruz and Valenzuela, you know, going in, I picked Jose Valenzuela to win this fight. I thought he could outwork. I thought he could also stop Isaac Cruz, but I thought he could outbox Isaac Cruz with his height and reach. You know, I told everybody that they were not giving enough credit to Jose Valenzuela. Valenzuela is a fighter that is a skillful guy. He's a good boxer puncher. He was highly touted before he ran into Edwin De Los Santos and got knocked out. You know, it happens. I think he was wildly overlooking De Los Santos. I think a lot of the boxing media was, and De Los Santos stopped him. After that, he suffered a controversial decision loss to Chris Colbert, but the way he bounced back against Colbert and dominated and brutally knocked Colbert out last year, that really let me know that Valenzuela was ready to play. And when he got this title shot, you look at the height and reach advantage, the fact that I've always felt Isaac Cruz was overrated, I picked Valenzuela. And I'm glad I was right about this one, because Jose Valenzuela is a good fighter. And, you know, it ended up being a good competitive bout. Cruz was on the attack. Cruz has a fantastic fucking chin. That's one thing I'm going to give him. You know, I somewhat bought into the Gervonta Tank Davis hand injury, quote unquote excuse, which I know he hurt his hand. And I'm not saying Tank can't knock Cruz out, but goddamn does that motherfucker have a chin, you know? And he showed that against Valenzuela. He took some shots in that fight and kept coming, you know, and I think that's what made the fight close. He did land some good shots. I personally felt Valenzuela completely outboxed him. I thought it was probably 8-4 area comfortably, but I understand why some of the judges had it closer than that, because Isaac Cruz's relentless pursuit and the fact that he was landing good shots here and there. So they were eye-catching shots. They were. But Valenzuela, just a great technical masterpiece. The fact that he was in the condition to move, it looked like middle rounds, hey, he might not be in condition to stay away from the dogfight against Pitbull the entire 12 rounds. But he was able to do that, and he landed some big shots himself. He did back Pitbull off a couple times, and he landed some really good shots. And he really deserved that decision win and to become the new world champion at 140. So a big win for Jose Valenzuela. That was, you know, to capture a world title on a big card in a co-feature of a huge card like that, it really speaks to, you know, how good this guy is, how bad he wanted it. You know, for Isaac Cruz, you know, no shame in losing this fight. You know, Valenzuela is a very good fighter. It's not like he's a complete nobody that nobody's ever heard of. You know, he's a good fighter that has been around, you know, banging around. That was highly touted just up until a couple years ago, and he scored a monster win last year as well. So it's not like this dude was a complete nobody. He's a good fighter. and Cruz doesn't really, he doesn't have to hang his head. But the caveat is, a lot of people thought the winner had an opportunity at Tank Davis, and maybe they do. But the key here is that I just found out that yesterday that there's an automatic rematch clause in the contract for Isaac Cruz. So he can take a rematch with Valenzuela if he wants, which would take away the showdown with Tank Davis by the end of the year for Valenzuela. There was a lot of talks that Cruz, a victory was going to guarantee him a rematch with Davis, and that very likely could have been the case before he lost to Valenzuela. But now that he lost, it doesn't mean Valenzuela's moving on to fight Tank either. So, a very good matchup, a very good victory for Valenzuela. Cruz, tough loss, but it was close enough to warrant a rematch. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these two guys do. So, I will do the what's next on both fighters next week. And that's it. That is the Cruz versus Valenzuela pay-per-view recap from their co-feature on the Crawford-Madrimov undercard as they competed for the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship of the World at 140 pounds. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.